Now joining us in the studio is Gloria Okolugbo, who is the Director of Communications to Senator Ned Nwoko, joining us to discuss this issue. Welcome to the show and thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you. It's always my pleasure to be here.
Great. Before we go into the reaction that we saw from the minority leader there, I just wanted to ask you, Senator Ned Nwoko being in the People's Democratic Party, and we know that when someone is joining a party, running under a party, clearly they identify with the ideology of the party, with the principles of the party. Why this decision? Can you just elaborate more on what compelled him to make this decision to move?
Thank you so much. First, your introduction helped me because you talked about protracted crisis. It was your own words. And before I go into what prompted him to move, I must address what, with due respect.
We're going to get to that. I just wanted the viewers to understand why
the background.
Move. Yes, the background.
What are the real problems between, what would you say is the ideology of the People's Democratic Party now? I know a number of Nigerians might be a bit emotional because I know that everybody is interested in a viable opposition. I mean, there's nobody, even the distinguished senator himself, in the letter that was read on the floor of the Senate, said he was worried about Nigeria falling into a one-party state. And so there should be an investigation. The Senate should set up an investigative panel to find out those things that have caused this to be. Somebody was on air with you in the morning and I found it a very interesting and elaborate interview. And he talked about the fact that the present PDP shot itself in the foot because every single policy they put in place, all the issues of rotational presidency, everything they were known to have put in place before the 2023 election, they violated it mercilessly. And a lot of the source of that came from persons in Delta State. I hope you know. Okay,
so let's pause before we even go to Delta State. Let's talk about the reaction that we're getting. The PDP Senate Minority Leader, as you heard, insists that, look, this defection violates Section 68 of the 1999 Constitution, which requires lawmakers to vacate their seats if they defect without division in their party. He insists that, look, there's no division. How do you respond to this sort of legal challenge?
It's not a legal challenge. With due respect to him, we expected him to do his job naturally, but he's not done his research well, or he's not been. I am old enough for him to first of all start by saying that distinguished Senator Ned is not a politician, or I don't know that derogatory phrase he used. Distinguished Senator Ned was in the House of Representatives about 20 years ago. He was in the House of Representatives, with due respect. And thereafter, he's become an accomplished businessman and has achieved a lot of things. I am old enough to realize that the distinguished Senator Moro could not even carry out a proper recruitment, and we lost Nigerians in the stadium. Okay. And I still remember that. So I would like him first to give account of the loss of Nigerian lives that are on the table and hanging on his head. Having said that, you know, we expect him to do his bit to put up a lame excuse on the floor of the House, and we didn't take it personally because the Senate President said to him that, who is your National Secretary?
Okay.
And he couldn't name his National Secretary. Now, the Senate President is first the Senator of the Federal Republic. He's serving at the federal level, and he's representing the state level. So whatever happens with the National Working Committee, with the offices of the national whatever, affect him directly.
But the senator actually named Senator Anyanwu as their national secretary. But I wanted to take you up on something that you said earlier. You mentioned the PDP's inability to function as an effective opposition. Also, Senator Nwoko's warning that Nigeria risks sliding into a dangerous one-party system. Do you believe that his defection to the APC, a party that's already in power, contributes to this risk?
The issues have to be looked about dispassionately. First, you have to talk about what are the reasons, and we have had it in the public domain. This is about the 4th time I've been on your program.
We've talked about the reasons. Yes. Now we're talking about what Senator Ned has said about Nigeria risking sliding into a one-party system.
What do you want him to do? He's representing the people of Delta North.
working within that APC to change that risk, or what is the...
Working with it, first of all, he's a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but he's representing the people of Delta North. And so it is about the interests of the people of Delta North. And so when he cannot accomplish those things that he promised the electorate that he's going to accomplish, basic things like water, light, basic things, and then the party gets into this fragmented, structure in the state, and it's all about a system, allegiances to a system, and it begins to impede governance. You need to see the 2025 appropriation bill of Delta State. It's laughable that officials from Delta North now sat down to pass a vote of confidence on the governor. Senator Ned had been asked as a senator to pass a vote of confidence on the governor, and he refused. Okay, so which is what they should do if they're accountable to their people.
What I was really talking about was the risk of Nigeria sliding into a one-party system. But let's move on from that. There are some concerns, and I wanted you to just talk a little bit about some of the reports that we've been seeing. Some people say, look, this defection is not really about the crisis going on in PDP. If there's a risk of a one-party system, maybe he can be in the PDP and help the party to unity. Now, some people are saying this defection might be for personal reasons, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
You know Senator Ned Nwoko, right? What's personal about him being in governance? Actually, I'm aware that when he was given the offer to run on this ticket, he first of all declined it because he's running a foundation that does scholarship, and it's on record. He's running a foundation that is into African tourism. He has so many things going on that is fulfilling everything he would like to give back to society. But because the voice on the table is not representational, if you go to every village in Delta State, in Delta North, it's a pathetic situation. And
okay, so what you're saying basically is that Senator Ned Nwoko being in the People's Democratic Party in some way hinders his ability to work for the people.
Exactly.
How is that? Okay, so how is he being in the APC going to help him work for the people? That's what we want to know. Let's now move forward.
Yes,
he's now in the APC. How is that going to make him work better for the people?
Now, in Delta States, it's obvious that the system is territorial about the issue of state creation. They really don't care about the fact that our people are suffering.
No, that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about
what the reasons are.
No, I'm talking about how the APC will help the senator work
so now
better
let's get on
for his constituents.
Okay, yes, he has had the feelers. This didn't start today, and so he has had the feelers at the national level. He's been at the national level, and he has had the feelers that he will get the cooperation from the APC. A lot of parties approached him. He has a good following even among the obedients. We have a lot of communication. So why didn't
he join the Labour Party?
No, see, let me tell you something.
What values of the APC and principles of the APC and ideology of the APC made him join the APC?
Have you seen the appropriation bill? The
national appropriation bill. What values of the
values are these? There are certain things that there are certain bills that he has on the floor of the House.
Okay.
The issue of humanitarian giving, the issue of data. Having a proper data for Nigerians and not having random humanitarian giveaways, which is a very common thing that they do in Delta State because they want to fritter away the money that is meant for the vulnerable. And so he suggested that we must have a data-based system that provides money for the vulnerable in Nigeria. That has been adopted by an opposition party at the national level. And the president has sent a bill to the House requesting for an agency to be set up. On the other side, in Delta State, he requested that lights should be stepped down. The same thing that other states do, and they come to the National Assembly. On a weekly basis, the National Assembly receives requests that the monies they spent for federal jobs should be refunded. Their members in the Senate facilitate that. Senator Ned told the governor, step down this light and I will facilitate the payment.
I think we run out of time.
He has always met with a brick wall.
We've run out of time,
is a better option.
Thank you so much, and I wish we had more time. You should come
so.
back.
I think I should come
yes, definitely. We'll make time for you to come back. Gloria Okolugbo, who is the Director of Communications to Senator Ned Nwoko. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight.